Here we go, I'm TJQUaKe, the ghetto gamer on this gaming thing. Here we go.
What's happening, ladies and gentlemen? TJQUaKe, yo, ghetto gamer is back once again. This is TJQUaKe's Ghetto Gaming Pop Culture Talk, and that's right, ladies and gentlemen. We always talk about the craziest of crazy, like you always know I do. I get insane with all the madness. That's right, I get insane with the madness because we live in an insane world. Yes, we do. We're living in an insane world, and I got to talk about this shit to get it off my daggum chest and so forth. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to go back to an old topic today. That has been the conversation of the year, of the past few years now and everything. But it's one of those ones that really I haven't talked too much about and everything. And today I had to talk about because Dr. Phil had his show with activists that are for defunding the police and then the police chiefs and people that used to be police officers and people that are just general citizens that don't believe in defunding the police, maybe because they believe in safety. I don't know. That's a crazy thing nowadays, that you want to be safe, and nowadays you got all these activists who don't want you to be safe anymore because they think that society should be the ones that fixes it and everything, which I don't understand what they mean by that, because society is just as crazy as anybody else, if not more. But right now, let's get into the topic at hand: defunding the police. We got to defund the police because the police are so evil. They just keep killing all of our black people. Every time a black man pulls out a gun, I don't know why the cops shoot him. This is horrible. So-called flipnicks, this is what they believe in, ladies and gentlemen. And we're about to get into a bunch of these knuckleheads right now because Dr. Phil's got a bunch of loonies on there who think that police should just be destroyed and so forth. And they don't like, what I also noticed, they don't let nobody do, they like talking over you. You're going to see a lot of that and everything. So let's get to it, you guys. I'm not going to try to get in and make it too long. But I want to get into the depth of this, you guys. And any of you guys that, you got some points you guys want to make, whether you're for defunding the police, give your reasons why you're for defunding it. And then for you guys that are against it, give your reasons for why you're against it. This is a community here. We can all talk about it without freaking jacking each other up and so forth. Let's talk about it. Let's get to reason. Now, me, I want to tell you what I think. And so, because I hold no punches back, ladies and gentlemen. As you guys all know, TJQUaKe, I don't hold punches back. I don't care about your feelings and so forth. This is not a channel for feelings, so if you get your feelings hurt for what TJ says, it's probably not the channel for you. It's not, and everything, because I don't give a flip. I'm going to throw them at you. I'm going to throw them at you super hard. I'm going at you full strength. Don't care, and so forth. So let's go ahead and find out what these crazy people here want to say. I'm going to throw on my headphones. Now, we're going to defund the police, you guys. Dr. Phil Show. Do it.
Funding the police.
It's a complete disaster.
There's chaos at night. There's fires. There's shootings. And we don't have enough police.
Helpful cause?
People will do desperate things in order to survive. You're not solving anything by arresting those people.
Or harmful idea. We're not trying to win an argument. We're trying to solve a problem. Let's do it.
Now, those people right there, those were your loonies.
Now, some major cities heeded passionate demands and declared they were cutting and redirecting money away from police budgets and removing officers from the streets. 2 years later, some are saying it's been a dangerous debacle, a flawed experiment that led to unprecedented levels of crime and violence in cities.
And that's exactly what has happened, ladies and gentlemen. Just pause it right there real quick. Okay. But that's exactly what has happened. When we get rid of the police, ladies and gentlemen, all the freaking rest of the shit starts to go down the tube and everything. Because guess what? Now, there's no cops here to stop me? Well, I guess I'll go over here and punch this guy in the face and take his freaking money. Yeah, give me your money. And guess what? The police ain't going to show up, so don't bother calling them. Because we got activists now that are saying get rid of the cops, defund them, do whatever, you know. And then you'll hear them say, well, I'm not saying get like totally defund them, but yes, that's what I really am for. It's amazing and everything. Go on, Phil.
That cut and or diverted law enforcement
affect the ways in which crime play out.
Seattle, we were dealing with the struggles and the challenges of dealing with the Defund the Police movement, and then had to work very hard.
As you guys can see, look at this video alone. Look at the scene right here. What do you see burning in the background? Ladies and gentlemen, that's what happens when you let society go, when you let people go mayhem. This is what these flipnicks don't get. I want everybody to pay attention to the stuff that the media most of the time likes to hide and everything. They don't want to show you this because they don't want, and then when they do show you it, then they'll say, oh, it's just mostly peaceful protesting. Just peaceful protesting. Nobody's committing any crimes here. Why the city behind them is burning. It's amazing how they don't want you to believe what you see and everything. No, just believe us. Listen to what we say. We're telling you the truth as the city's burning behind me. Don't ignore that. Oh, that lady just got, oh, damn. Oh, yeah. Don't make sure you don't show that. We don't want that on camera. Yeah. That's what's happening, ladies and gentlemen. It's freaking crazy. It's chaotic. But go on.
For lack of a better word, lawlessness that came as a result.
There's been a lot of misinformation about what defund is. And maybe that's because we picked a bad thing to name it. It is not about taking all of the money from the police right now. This is not true. Defund is about interrupting so-called crime.
We need to refund the police.
What?
Police are demoralized and criminals are in. The lack of training is devastating for police.
Did you see that one scene where you see all those people in the store? That's people looting the store, just on random in San Francisco. You want to know why? Because they don't get it. They're not getting prosecuted for doing that anymore. You can steal up to almost $1,000 worth of goods in stores nowadays. It's a misdemeanor. It's not even a crime. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, live with that one, Lo.
Police officers who are not properly trained end up hurting people on the streets. They can learn how to de-escalate situations. The defund the police movement is wrong.
I have for several years studied this societal situation, a fair amount, actually. And in fact, have even hired a team of research analysts who have really been digging into the complex issues involved.
Now, these are the research analysts that he's got on the show right here. So let's get to, what some of these people got to say.
Depending upon whom you're talking to, it means different things to different people. So some people would say it means divest and invest in other areas. Some people say it means abolish. And so we needed to at least have a clear definition to actually figure out what are we talking about when we say that. I do think that, as I've heard many times before, people want, when police respond, they want officers to be fair and just.
Yeah, which is normally what we do want. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this out. Yeah, you're going to have your bad cops out there. Yes, trust me. I've run into a few of those cops in my heyday, and so forth. You run into them. It happens. There's a bad batch in it. There's a bad apple in every batch sometimes and everything. But you don't get rid of the entire system of cops, because there's a lot of good cops out there that really want to protect the neighborhood, really want to help. And they're really out there to do something to make sure that, people are safe. I had some cops just the other day come and respond to a guy because our next door neighbor, which could have been us and everything, next door neighbor, some freaking vagabond came over there and smashed their freaking side back window in. Oh, that's right there. Your sliding glass door to your patio. Somebody came across and jumped in there, busted the window, and shattered the entire thing, went into their house. The alarm went off, so the guy got scared and ran off and everything. So the cops came and, they came over here to just check to see if we had heard anything, And we was totally obliged to help the cops out because I don't want crime happening in my neighborhood. I'm sorry, dude. I would like for the cops to be around more to prevent it, because see, when a cop's presence there, when they have just their presence there, it deters people from wanting to do stuff. And I'm like, ooh, yeah, there's police over there, yeah. And they'll get into that. Watch, you'll hear that on some of these other things. Let's get to Dimwad here. Doobleberry. Here's this woman. She's another one.
When we're talking about a society where 1 in every 1,000 black men can expect to be killed by law enforcement, we have not made progress. When we talk about a society...
Do you ever talk about the black people that are getting killed by black people by the thousands? Do you ever talk about that? No, they don't want to talk about that. No. It's only when the cops do it. He said, when 1 in so many black people are getting jacked by cops, how often does that happen? And the ones that are getting jacked by the cops normally are guys that are some pretty raw criminals. You know, can you ever just say that black people commit crimes? They act like black people didn't. These people that are getting jacked are not committing crimes. If you don't commit crimes, you won't have to worry about the police. So you'll run into stupidity like that, ladies and gentlemen. But this lady here, she's going to go on to tell you more of why, cops need to be defunded.
Where black folks in particular make up the majority of people that are profiled, targeted, incarcerated by our criminal legal system, we are not talking about progress. Some things that I do want to address. Actually, there was not confusion about what defund means until law enforcement inserted that confusion. What I can say is that organizers, creators of this movement were always very clear that it was about redirecting resources to things that actually keep us safe.
No. See, some of those people were saying redirected. If you talk to these SJW warriors out there, ladies and gentlemen, oh no, the SJW warriors, oh no, those motherfuckers, they want the police abolished. They want them gone. They don't want police at all. Oh yeah. Some of you people are even saying that they want, that they were going to social workers, ladies and gentlemen, to go talk to people that are having domestic issues. So you're going to send a social worker over to a guy who's abusing his wife. And the social worker is what? Going to talk him down? Really? Go on, Looney Tunes.
It might have been clear in the conference room. It might have been clear when y'all were meeting about it, but it wasn't clear on the streets. And it wasn't clear with all the people that took up the message and found a camera to...
Booyah. Dr. Phil just said it right there. Right there, he just said it. Ladies and gentlemen, it wasn't clear to the people on the streets. I'm so glad he said that. Thank you. Phil, sometimes you come through, bro. Sometimes. And everything. But yes, perfect point right there. And everything. It was clear when you guys were saying it, and maybe that's what you guys were attending it to mean, but really, you know, the streets took it up as something completely different, and you guys didn't clarify it. You guys didn't clarify it to the street raft, the riff-raft. You guys basically just let it go. And it wasn't the police that turned it into that. It was the people on the streets that turned it into that, and so forth. And that's what they wanted. And guess what happens when the people want something? Oh well, the high Congress and the Senate and our government. Oh, they take on the words of what the people were saying. Oh, well, this is what they want. So let's go ahead and let's abolish the police. Oh, let's defund them completely. Oh, that's what happens. What you guys were trying to do wasn't registering. If that's really what you were trying to do. So you say.
To stand in front of, because I can show you 1,000 images that have the word abolish with defund. So the message got hijacked is my point.
When you're saying suddenly we see people talking about abolish, well, defunding comes from an abolitionist perspective.
That's
right? It is a long-term project that says, how do we create the conditions under which policing would not be necessary? And defund is the policy that says, well, a city budget has this much money going to police and this smaller amount of money.
Let's know what he said, though, you guys. How can we create something that will make it to where police aren't necessary? I got an idea for you. How about abolish crime? How about that? If there's no crime, then yeah, you're right, buddy. Then police wouldn't be necessary, would they? If people would stop committing crimes, committing acts of violence against other people to get what they want because you say society has made them this way and everything, then we wouldn't need the police. You're absolutely correct. Unfortunately, bro, we live in the real world. We don't live in La La Land. We don't live in Cartoonville. We live right here on planet Earth. And from the beginning of time, since freaking Daggum Cain killed his brother, man has been just sinning and killing and stealing and raping and doing all kinds of crazy shit. From the get-go. It has never stopped. And there's always had to be somebody that says, I got to stop these people from doing this. So who's with me to help me stop this guy from keep going over here and robbing people?
Comes from an abolitionist perspective.
That's
right? It is a long-term project that says, if you support defunding, it's like, what does the budget look like and how many officers will there need to be in order for you to eliminate crime? Like, can that question be answered?
Yeah, so how many cops will it take? Well, I guess depending on how many criminals are out there. The more criminals that are out there, the more cops we're going to need and everything. Yeah, that's what happens. But because of this whole defunding thing, even in our area where we live and so forth, we got less cops now, dude. The cops have even told us, dude, sure, you'll be lucky if there's 7 cops out there on a given night. Lucky. He was like, oh, dang, you guys had 7 that night? Wow, that must have been a good night. I'm like, what? I was like, yeah, he was going to tell us there's only maybe 3 or 4 on patrol. I'm like, what? Are you kidding me?
Doing. We redirect those resources, pay people living wage jobs to be able to go out and respond to things like mental health crisis, to substance abuse issues, to towing cars, to animal control. Police will be able to respond to violent crime.
Well,
but that is not what is happening, and you don't need over half of the city's general fund to just go focus on violent crime.
We have to take a break. When we come back, I have a question.
Just to go focus on violent crime. We don't need all the sources of violence. I would like all the resources, yes, to focus on violent crime. You want to know why? Because those are the foods that make everybody else's life miserable. You want to keep things from getting chaotic so that we can put these resources into other things and all these other things that can help society out with our cities things, which is good. That's a great thing. But at the same time, how are we going to enjoy those facilities and these other projects and all these other things that you're talking about if Jay now and Joe and this guy and all these people are afraid to even come out their freaking house now? Because the crime has gotten so bad, they can't even walk out down the street and just take a little stroll. I can't even get in my car because motherfuckers, I'm afraid that motherfuckers are going to steal my Cadillac converter and everything. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, yeah. Out here? Out in Cali? Oh, they like to steal Cadillac converters and shiz out here and so forth. Oh, yeah, they take your stuff and you come out and now you can't drive your car. Can't get to work now. Oh, yeah. Thanks a lot, Defund the Police. That really helped out a lot. Thanks for freaking making it to where the cops are not going to be around to see these fools stealing shits from under my car and so forth. Yeah, thanks. And so forth. This is the reason why I look at these people like they're Looney Tune. Because they're just stupid. They think that, we're going to be able to just stop all these things from happening still without having police. Okay. Then let's not, when this shit happens to you, bro, please do not call the police. Don't do it. Save the police for people that really want them. That's what I say. Let's get to this next piece of flavor.
Crime increases, the city of Denver scrambling to hire more police officers. Denver has fewer officers today than it had in 2008, and it's impacting their ability to respond to your calls.
Our officers are struggling to address the 911 calls for service. We're seeing significant increases in homicides and shootings and burglaries. I have had officers that have retired recently that do point to elected officials that have stated defund, abolish the police department. We're looking for good people with big hearts that want to serve their community. That is it.
John, you live 20 minutes from this studio in Santa Monica, which...
Now, I just want to state that that's what the police are going through. That's what I was just talking about. The police people, they're retiring early. New York, from what I heard, something like what was it? Something like 14,000. I mean, I'm sorry, something like 1,000. I'm sorry, 1,000 cops or more and everything. I could be more. I think homeboy said he may be around the range of 4,000 to 5,000 cops, something like that. They all left. They said we're done. We're not dealing with this because New York is being tied down and restrained so horribly and everything that the cops can't do anything anymore. They can't do nothing but they're afraid to even go into a black neighborhood and even try to attempt to arrest any crime out there because, oh, they're black, so we can't do anything because they're black and then Black Lives Matter is going to come after us and so forth. And you know, if we do anything to keep these guys from shooting at us, well, we just got to sit there and let the criminals shoot us and so forth. So they're like, I'm out. I'm done. I'm not doing this. I don't blame them. I would leave too. I'll tell you right now, ladies and gentlemen. I'll tell you right now. If this keeps going and it keeps happening and so forth with the stop defunding the cops and abolishing the cops, guess what? We ain't gonna have no more police. People like myself and others, I never wanted to become a police officer. Why? Because I'm not willing to die for a bunch of idiots. Just plain and simple. And everything. It's just ridiculous. They want you to freaking just bow down to the freaking criminal and everything. And I'm just like, are you sick? Everything. I go over here and try to stop this guy from doing something. I'm going to be the one that gets in trouble. Frick that shit and everything. You know, so why bother becoming a cop? This all it's doing is making people not want to even bother serving the community and helping out and everything. Why? When the laws of the land are against the actual people that are trying to protect the people out here. Now, yeah, I get it when people say, oh, cops do this, cops, trust me, man. I get more mad at the fact that the cops are not there before shit happens and so forth. And they probably would be there if we had more cops and so forth, that they were being able to patrol these areas a lot more. Jeez, we wouldn't have to really worry too much because the criminals would not want to be around when the cops are. Criminals don't want to be around when the cops are there. And so forth, they're trying to wait to a perfect time when nobody's watching and everything. But nowadays, it's not, they could do it even with people watching. Why? Because the prosecutors are not going to prosecute the crime. What the hell? Anyway, go on, dog. Keep it moving.
Which is just 7 miles away from the second most expensive street in the country, 10th most expensive in the world, Rodeo Drive. Now, if you looked up Santa Monica in a guidebook a few years ago, it might have been described as a beautiful, family-friendly beach town with a long stretch of white beach, a shopping district, a pier, an amusement park. How would you describe it today?
Today, Dr. Phil, it's chaos. We don't have enough police. Right now, we should be at around 230, 240 for a population of 72,000 people. We're barely at 175. There's chaos at night. There's fires. There's shootings and stabbings. It's a dangerous area. Even city employees are being attacked.
I want to introduce y'all to...
Do you think that lady cares? She don't care. She don't give a flip. Because all she's thinking is this is racism. Oh, the racist cops, the racists, all they're going to do is who are committing those crimes, I wonder. I wonder what race of people are committing the majority of those crimes. Yeah, I can get a good gander guess on that one and everything.
To a man who working for suicide prevention and law enforcement. So, Kevin, thanks for joining us.
And police saved his life.
You had a life-changing experience with
Absolutely,
the police.
I did.
What happened?
March 11, 2005, I was overwhelmed. I had spent 22 years not dealing with my pain, lying about who I was. Born and raised in Oakland, California, never talked about mental health, never talked about anything that had anything to do about feelings, emotions, and I got overwhelmed that day. And I drove myself to the Golden Gate Bridge, and on that day, I literally got out there. And the only thing that stopped me was that officer, who I never even know. At the time, I didn't even know he was an officer. I thought he was a human being. Later on, got to meet him 8 years later and found out he was an officer, and it changed my perspective of how I looked at law enforcement. I used to call them cops. Now I call them law enforcement because I realize they are human beings and they're flawed, and you know they make mistakes, but they're not trained. The key word, what he said, they're not trained for certain things. They're trained to handle. They're trained to supposedly handle situations, but they're not trained to handle how they feel about themselves. They're trying to figure out their own lives along with having this job that expects them not to be human. And I think that we have to understand their point of view too. Now that I've been on both sides of it.
Right. So how long did this?
See, again, ladies and gentlemen, there it is, and so forth. Until you experienced it yourself and everything, how would you know? How would you know what works and what doesn't work until you experience it? He was on the other end where he used to not like cops. He wasn't into the police. You know, I was there at one point too. I used to think, cops, oh man, cops always messing with us. Cops always messing with us, and so forth. I long for those days to come back, actually. I long for those police. Now that I'm grown and I'm an older man and I'm not some knucklehead kid on the streets anymore, and so forth, now I see why they were doing what they did and everything. When at the time when you're young and you want to be out there doing your thing and so forth, you just think about me, and so forth. But you're not thinking about the overwhelming thing of other people and so forth, and how other people feel about, these things happening in their areas and they don't feel safe. Well, when the cops are there to prevent it and everything, and when they do prevent something, then the people complain about it. Oh, the cops did this, the cops did that. Well, the cops just stopped this fool from jacking a whole bunch of other fools up. Everything. This guy was about to commit suicide. He was about to kill himself. The cop, he could have just said, oh, there's another blackie. Just let him go. Why would a white cop want to save that black man? Oh, the cops are so racist. Well, they just saved a black man from killing himself. Come on, pal. Come on down. It's not worth it, man. Let's talk about it. The cop could have just said, oh, wait, this is another black man. One less one, for us to deal with. What? The cop could have easily done that. How come nobody's talking about that? Everything. You know what I'm saying? The cop, if it was a real racist, you think a real racist would have cared about that black man getting ready to kill himself? Hell no. They would have just freaking, get less for me to deal with. That's exactly what would have happened. But no, this cop said, I'm going to stop this guy from killing himself. I'm not looking at his skin color. I'm looking at a life, a human being, and so forth. So that guy's looking at cops completely different now. He's like going, wait a minute. This cop could have just went on about his business and just let me jump and everything. He didn't have to stop me. He didn't have to care for me. How come the cop just didn't get out of his car and shoot him? Oh, you guys act like cops. That's what they do and everything. No, that's what this hood rats be doing. Hood thugs be doing that stuff. They be rolling around through the neighborhoods, freaking just shooting motherfuckers just randomly. Walk up to a brother, I saw right on the video. I showed it on, you can see one of my videos. Brother walks up right onto another brother, pow, shoots him right in the back of the head. Guy minding his own business and so forth. Oh yeah, but I'm supposed to be more afraid of the cops though. So you say. Anyway, keep it moving.
This stranger talked to you?
92 minutes.
Oh. Specifically.
Yeah, 92 minutes.
And he got you to walk
away. 92
minutes. Could I just speak to that for a second with law enforcement? Because most police officers die because of suicide that are on duty. They don't die because they're hit by a car. They don't die because they were shot by a suspect. They take their own lives. And when you defund the police, you prevent them from having enough money to provide themselves with the mental health services they need.
I'm sorry, law enforcement officers, we make so much money. We've got officers in Oakland that are...
No, they don't. Not all of them. They don't make that much money. To be honest with you, I hear some of the salaries that some of these cops make. I wouldn't do their jobs for the amount of money there. You want me to be a cop? I want to be making... I want to be guaranteed that I'm going to have... $1 million in my account by this time next year and everything. I want to make thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands. You want to know why? Because I'm risking my life every single day. I remember living over in, and this was in Lake Forest, ladies and gentlemen. Lake Forest. Okay, I'm talking about Lake Forest. This is Ritchieville, real suburby, Niceville. Okay, the whitest of white, okay, especially at that time, right? And the cop was sitting out there by the 7-Eleven store. We was coming home from a gig and everything. We saw all this tape and all this shit going, police tape all over the place. We're like, what the heck going down over there? Right over by 7-Eleven, just down the street from my house and everything. Went over there and found out that the cop that was doing his nightly paperwork was just sitting in the cop car. Some dude with an AK-47 walked into the 7-Eleven. The lady thought that he was there to rob her and so forth. He said, oh, no, don't worry about it. I'm not here to harm you. I'm here to kill cops today and everything. And the lady's like, what? You tripping and everything. Fool pulled, got his AK-7, cocked it up, went outside. The cop didn't see him. He was doing his paperwork inside of his cop car. It was at night. Guy walked up to his front window and everything, unloaded the entire AK-47 clip into him. You know how much is in an AK-47 clip? About maybe, I don't know, about 40, 50 rounds almost and everything. Oh, he unloaded it and everything. But yeah, back to basically they want to be able to get all these funds and so forth. But we take all of our money and we give it to places and to individuals that don't deserve it. We're supposed to be taking care of Americans in America. And if we thought about that, that's where the money would go then. But no. We need to take it from the police so it can further destroy our communities without us having any freaking protection at all. They already want to take our guns away from us. Now you want to take the police too? Idiots.
Here, there does need to be an investment in people who can deal with people who are mental health crisis. And I would agree with you that maybe the officers aren't the best responder, but once a person's decided that, they're going to run around their apartment and chase people with a machete or whatever that thing is, where it becomes violent, you do need a police response. I wouldn't want my 30-year-old daughter to have to be, I'll
tell you why.
To come in.
Let me answer that from a mental health.
Go on, Phil. Tell them why, Phil.
When you have someone in an agitated, even a psychotic episode, you truly need a mental health professional to deal with that. But there are times that those people become homicidal, become self-destructive, and you do need someone there with authority and the ability to stop that person in their tracks if that's what's necessary.
Hello?
But they're not the...
Hello? You need that person that's going to be there, that's going to keep that from happening. That's all you're saying and everything. We're just saying, can we get some protection? Can we have somebody that'll prevent this guy who's going crazy with a machete, going around hacking people up because he's going freaking brain loony and he needs some mental help or whatever the hell he needs? Well, that's not going to help the people that are being slaughtered by the guy, though, and so forth. The mental guy, the doctor, isn't going to be able to say, hey, now, Ricky, is that your name, Ricky? Hey, put the axe down now and everything and so forth. No, you know what's going to help Ricky put that axe down? A guy with a freaking gun. Called a cop. And the cop's going to point that gun at him and say, put the axe down, brah, or we're going to shoot you. Now, Ricky, either he's going to freaking wake up out of his insanity, which a lot of times they do. He's going to wake up out of the insanity and say, no, I'm going to put it down. Or he's going to get even more loony and says, oh, I'm going to kill you too. And he goes rushing at the cop and the cop goes, okay, bang, bang, bang. End of subject. And everything. That's all there is to it. But that's what unfortunately has to happen because poor Ricky over here just doesn't get it. And so I'm sorry, Ricky had to be taken out and so forth because Ricky was going to try to kill everybody else. And I'm sorry, but I'd rather Ricky go down than me and so forth. It's me or you. That's what it comes down to, ladies and gentlemen. It's either it's going to come down to your life or the criminal's life. I'm picking my life over that criminal anytime, any day, and so forth. Take his ass out because I'm here to preserve me and my family and my loved ones. And if this fool's trying to take out my loved ones and myself, then I want him taken down. No questions. I don't care how it's done and so forth. Do it and so forth because that's the only way you stop these people because these people don't get it. They think that they can just do stuff and there's not going to be any consequence to doing it. And some of these people do it just because they want to kill. They do it death by cop, suicide by cop. Oh, well, time to go, I guess. Nothing's going to help these people. I'm sorry. They're possessed by demons, as far as I'm concerned.
The ones to be doing what you're talking about, and you're not ever going to train them to do that.
Exactly.
Right.
Nor do we want to.
What's crucial about your story that you just told was that you said for 22 years, you did not feel like you had a place to talk about your feelings.
Absolutely not.
When we talk about policing, we're already too late.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We're about to get into the
at every issue, at every junction, we're talking about something that's too late, that we have not funded, that we have not addressed as a social ill, that we have defunded over and over again. If we're talking about a police officer responding to a rape, there's already been a rape. That's the problem. And the police.
So we got to stop. We got to get rid of the cops because the cops didn't get to the rape. Yeah, most of the time that's normally what happens, dude. Yeah, the crime, you're right. The crime already happened. But the idea is to stop the guy from doing it again. That's the point. If this guy went and raped one person, then he's going to keep doing it. But you don't want cops there anymore. You want society to be able to fix it. We need to be better in society so that person won't do it again. No, that person don't give a flip about society. He ain't gonna care about if this doctor says, hey, that's kind of wrong. What's hurting you? What's harming you? You think he gives a flip? He's freaking lost it. That fool's got Satan running through his veins right now. You ain't stopping a possessed person. Unfortunately, that's just not gonna happen. Not until somebody takes care of the situation, which is where the cops come in.
Police officer did not prevent that. The funding for the police officers did not prevent that.
Well,
so
what
we're talking about is that the police, when I say defund the police, what I am saying is that there's so much going to the police. I'm saying, can you take some of it? Some of it.
I would
and
agree.
give it to other things.
Now, mind you, in one breath he said, oh, no, we're not going to completely defund. We're not going to, and Dr. Phil's going to come in and say something, and then he says, no, I want him gone. Oh, no, trust me. That's what's going to happen. I got to get to that part.
Because police do not prevent. They are not enough of a deterrent to prevent the things that...
You're driving down the freeway and you see a highway patrol officer on the freeway, you slow down.
No, many people don't.
No, they slow down.
No, dude, they do. And if you don't slow down, then you're the dummy because the cop's going to pull your dumb behind over and then you're going to go screaming out, racism, you pulled me over because I'm black. Never mind the fact that you went over the speed limit and passed the cop up and so forth and everything. No, that's not it. No, it's because you're black. Oh, it's because I'm black. That's why you pulled me over. And so, he's up there to say, no, some people are not going to always do that. Yeah, criminals won't do it. Criminals won't slow down because they're probably trying to get away from the cop. So yeah, they're probably not going to slow down. We see that all the time in police chases. Dummy.
Down, and when you see a cop in a parking lot, people will probably not want to do a crime right when their cop is there. You need more police.
You would need police everywhere then, if that's the scenario that you lie out.
If you want to, the issue you're bringing up is there hasn't been enough investment in mental health. There has not been enough. We need to invest more.
Things, not just mental health. We're talking about housing.
I think what the issue is that it doesn't have to.
Yeah, all those things you're talking about, housing, education, stuff like that. Talk to the government who gave all of our money over to Ukraine. Talk to them about the $45 billion, like I said earlier, ladies and gentlemen, that they gave over to Ukraine and so forth. You want to complain about where money's going? Talk to your government and so forth. Don't complain about the police. Talk up to your government and say some of that money, I don't know, could have went to government housing, could have went to food, could have went to shelters, could have went to, these mental facilities, mental house, hospital facilities. That some of that money could have went into those things, but they're not doing that. Want to know why? Because, ladies and gentlemen, newsflash, they don't care. They never have. They don't care about us. They don't care, ladies and gentlemen. Bottom line, straight up and everything. I'm just being real. The government don't really give a shizzle about any of us. They only care about their bottom line. They want to stay in power. They want to have the power. They want to have the money. You guys always talk about the rich. Oh, the rich don't get. The rich pay a lot in taxes, ladies and gentlemen. The rich pay more money in taxes than you will ever make in a year and so forth. They pay more than what you make in a year in taxes. But because there's so much money, so because they're rich, you guys think that they don't pay enough. Well, they should pay more.
Or.
But it
we
does
need
right
to
now.
recognize.
No, you're right. It doesn't need to, I'm sorry. It doesn't need to be
we need to recognize
either or. But right now, the police, the either
the
or
police
is
service,
it's just
and we
the
also
police.
need to recognize
Oakland,
the
Department
value
of
of these
Violence
other
Why don't you
Prevention
shut up and let her
gets $17 million.
talk?
If you would
OPD
allow me
gets
to finish, because I
$368
will sit
million.
here and listen to you as long as you'd like.
I just want the truth to be told.
And I would do nothing but tell the truth.
But you're not.
It doesn't
But you're not. But you're not. See what happens when Democrats and people on the left, when they don't get their way? They want to talk over you. They want to get mad and everything. The lady says, "Can I finish saying what I got to say?" And they said, "But you're not telling the truth." No, I am telling the truth. Which, just because you don't like what I'm saying is irrelevant and so forth. I am telling the truth from a perspective from what I've seen things come from. But no, only her truth can be told, though. Only what she says is right. So when anybody else says anything different, she wants to talk over you and shut you down. This is what they do all the time, peoples. They want to shut you down and keep you from saying anything. But you're not.
It doesn't have to be one or the other.
It doesn't need to be either or. There's a point at which law enforcement and public health intersect. And you're talking about a public health issue, and you guys are talking about a law enforcement issue, and both of them are legitimate societal needs.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And Michael, you're not saying we don't need police. That
I am.
See what he just said? He said, "Michael, you're not saying we don't need police." Oh, I am. See what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen? What was he saying earlier? All we want to do is just take a little bit of the funding that you guys get and bring it over here to some of these other organizations. Just a little bit of what you have over here. And then Dr. Phil just said, "Michael, you're not saying that we don't need the police." He said, "Oh, I am." So you guys got that. Let's play that back real quick. I want you guys.
And Michael, you're not saying we don't need police. That
I am.
See? Michael, you're not saying we don't need police. Oh, no. Let me correct you, Phil. I am saying that. But Phil, let me be real straight with you. Everything. What I said before was a lie. I am saying that we don't need police. I don't like them. That's what he's saying. In other words, he doesn't need the police. So, Michael, I got something for you, brah. And everything. Like I said earlier in this video, when the police, when you get mugged next time, when somebody comes up there and they try to jack you for something, dude, and you better hope you don't live in the hood. I hope you don't live in the hood, dude. I hope you live in these white neighborhoods that you guys always say you hate white people so much for. I hope you're living amongst these people that you hate, okay, the white people. I hope you're living there. Because if you're living in the hood with your brothers and everything, I don't want you freaking screaming and shouting and crying and saying, "I need the police now," and so forth. No, I want you to sit there, let that brother who just came over there, who said, "Break yourself, fool. Give me all you got. I'm busting you up." But I ain't got, man, I tell you, bow. I don't want you saying shiz. Because when your brother, man, comes up there and he takes your freaking life, or he jacks your friend up, or your wife, or your children up, I don't want you calling the freaking police. You sit there, you let that fool take your shiz, and you don't cry, you don't complain about it, you don't do shiz. You sit there and you take it. I want you to do that, bro.
So if someone is doing a home invasion or committing an armed robbery, you don't think there's a role for police to intervene?
What your question is presuming is a world as it exists currently, right? And so when I say, I don't believe there's a need for police, what I'm saying is that there has been so little.
You just said that's what now he's saying. Now he's going back on it. You see what they do, ladies and gentlemen? He just said he said, "You're not saying there's not a need for police." Oh, I am. Now he just said, "I'm not saying that we don't need there's not a need for police and everything." Dude, wait, make your mind up, dude. Which one is it? Which one is it? You go back and forth too much, man. You lying piece of crap.
I don't believe there's a need for police. What I'm saying is that there has been so little investment in creating the conditions under which police would not be necessary. And that is the issue. That is the holistic issue. And people are creations of the society in which they live in. And if you are a society that has such massive inequality, and you are a society that is based on racial and gendered hierarchies, and you are a society that deprives people of the resources that they need to live, talking about housing, clean water, food, all of these things that are part of an equitable society. You're talking about people that will do desperate things in order to survive. And so
in other words, because society isn't there for him, people are going to do. So basically, he's making an excuse for criminals, ladies and gentlemen. Mind you, what he's doing here, it's not their fault. It's not the criminals' fault. It's society's fault. Because these people are pushed into doing desperate things. They need things. They need a thing. So they're going to need to rob maybe you. Maybe they might have to kill your grandmother right next to you there because your grandmother has money that they just saw her pull out of the ATM machine and they really need it because they need to survive. Frick her survival. Forget her. Yeah, don't mind no grandma who's just trying to get some money out to feed her family and so forth. She has a family too, but no, their feelings don't matter. Their livelihood doesn't matter. Only the criminal, the guy who needs it the most. I need it. I'm the guy that doesn't want to go to get a job. I'm the guy that doesn't want to go to school. I'm the guy that doesn't care about life anymore. I'm the guy that says, I'm just going to take from somebody else and make my life easier by hurting them. This is who this guy's for. Go on, idiot.
You're not solving anything by arresting those people. You are not solving anything by shooting and killing those people.
So you're crying by the fact you're not solving anything by arresting criminals. You shouldn't be able to do that. That's not solving anything. All these people in jail should be released immediately. Every last one of them. Including the guy that just killed those 4 students at the daggum college. Because, he's mentally ill. Yeah, the guy in Idaho. Yeah. The guy that they finally caught, they killed like 4 or 5 students at school. Yeah, well, it's not his fault. We should release him too, right? Yeah. Okay. Go on, Phil. Give him your piece of sense.
I agree with you 100%.
I do not agree with him 100%. But Dr. Phil is about to make a point right now, one that I've been trying to make this entire time. And I'm going to end it right here after Dr. Phil makes his point and so forth. Because this is what it comes down to, ladies and gentlemen, when it really comes down to it. And Dr. Phil's going to make the most sense he's ever made in his entire career when he says this. Right here, he's not making any sense. I don't agree with this dude 100% at all. That society is the problem. Because society isn't the problem. The individual is the problem. But go on.
On society's failures about how that person became a criminal. My point is we also live in the here and now. And if someone invades my home and has my wife held hostage in the bedroom tonight, I don't give two about where they came from tonight.
You notice that the camera went straight over to his wife? You see that? That's to signify that this is what a woman wants. She wants protection. She's up there saying, go on, honey. Tell him, please. Because this fool wants people to just go around doing whatever they want. And so I'm going to be a victim to some fool because his feelings were hurt one day and he decides he wants to take it out on me. Yeah, that's what she's up there going. She's like, I need protection. This is what most women would want. They want protection from freaking flipnecks.
What I care about is a solution tonight. That doesn't mean that we don't need to solve the problem so my grandchildren don't get held hostage in their bedrooms 20 years from now. But when you say we don't need police because of developmental failures, that doesn't solve the problems that are occurring tonight, tomorrow night, the next night. Those things have to be dealt with.
I hear you.
No, you don't.
I truly, and I'm not being.
Now you notice most of the audience clapped for that. Most of the have to agree with that one because if someone's getting ready to do something in my family, I want the police to be there to make sure these fools get taken down and everything. I want the police to come and make sure this guy doesn't do it again. I want that fool in jail This fool says you shouldn't put him in jail. Think about that, ladies and gentlemen. This is what he wants. No, I think that we should let everybody out of jail. People should be in jail. They just need help. Some people are beyond help, bruh. Think about it.
Hear you. That is the fear that continues to drive us toward more policing.
No, that is the reality in which we live. That's not a fear.
Yes,
fear
it is
the anxiety or anticipation of something that may happen. What I'm describing is something that is happening, and we have to have guardrails. We have to have someone to turn to. We have to have someone on the end of 911.
Oh yeah! Look how stupefied he looks. I want to leave you guys with that face right there. Take a picture. Take a picture. Right? Take a picture. That's a guy who's just been defeated. He just got freaking mic drop. I want someone at the end of the 911 call to come and help us, to take care of this crazy lunatic that's trying to harm my family, my children. This dude does not get that. They live in fantasy world, people. It's just like all these knuckleheads that think a man can be a woman and a woman can be a man shiz and so forth. They live in La La Land. They live in a fantasy land. They think of the unnatural. They go beyond things that are normal. We have always had a police network in any type of society. Anywhere in the world, there's going to be police. It's not just America that has police. Some of these people say, the police were invented through racism. That's why police exist today, because of racism. Really? Because they had police in Europe before blacks were even in Europe, in Ireland, in Scotland, and all these European nations. They had police there. So long before it was just nothing but Europeans there. And everything. So was that invented out of racism, or was that invented just to keep people from breaking the law? I don't know. Please, somebody please. And so we need to start getting real with ourselves, ladies and gentlemen, and we need to start holding accountability to ourselves. We need to hold ourselves accountable for what we do. Don't blame society for your freaking issues. Your issues is because of you, because you decided to do that and everything. You know, if I ain't got enough money in my pocket and I can't go buy the Snicker bar over there, then I need to go get a job. I need to go to work somewhere where I can make money so that I can go to the store and buy that thing. Everybody acts like you can't go get a job. Anybody can get a job nowadays. You don't got to go to McDonald's. They're hiring all the time and so forth. Any of these little fast food joints, go and work in one of them. You'll get paid and everything, and then take that money and go buy yourself a loaf of bread and so forth. It's real simple and everything. But the problem is people are lazy. And they don't want to go and work. So when they don't want to go and work, then that means that they go down to stealing stuff and they do that. You got to do what you got to do to make your money and so forth. So do what you got to do to make your money, but don't go off and steal it from somebody and then freaking boo-hoo and cry when the police stop you from doing it and so forth. Like this knucklehead right here. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, you know how I do. I'm going to end this right now. I'm TJQUaKE. Yo, Ghetto Gamer, and you have joined me on TJQUaKE's Ghetto Gaming Pop Culture Talk. And well, I just want to say, you guys, I love you. Hopefully, you guys have a great New Year with this New Year's that we just have, and let's just bring in a time of sense and sanity, and make sure that we can just hold these people that think like this accountable for what they say and so forth. Everybody has the right to say what they want to say, but don't push your bullshits off on me, bro. Don't push me and try to tell me now I got to go on and do as you will, because you said so. No, bro, you leave that to you. You don't want the police no more, then you don't call the cops no more. How about that? And I'll end it on that. I'm Outlaw. Peace.
Yeah. Here we go. I'm TJQUaKE, the Ghetto Gamer, on this gaming thing. Yeah. Here we go. I'm TJQUaKE, the Ghetto Gamer, on this gaming thing. Gonna bang them up, gonna shoot them up, right here on Gaming Strain. Bang, bang, blaze it on up, TJQUaKE, we're busting like the 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Let's get into this, y'all. Yeah. TJQUaKE, the Ghetto Gaming Show.